Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for this week's news from the national governing body of our sport, USA Wrestling. Well, in the U.S., March is the time for our big college wrestling events and the storylines to draw to a close. The finale, if you will, of exciting college season. Well, this week we cover two of those tournaments, those national tournaments that took place over the weekend, and we'll take a peek behind the curtain, if you will, at the big show set to come, the NCAA Division I Nationals, set for Des Moines, Iowa, March 21st through the 23rd. We start, however, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa at the Ice Arena there, the NCAA Division III Nationals. With the final whistle blown at this year's tournament, Wartburg's legendary head man, Jim Miller, headed into retirement. It makes sense that this season would have special significance for everyone involved. He was seeking to finish his career with a 10th NCAA team title. It took 2 full days of great competition to get it done, with many challenges, but in the end, Miller's Knights gave their coach a chance to celebrate his career by going out as a champion. Wartburg presented their coach with a balanced team effort, scoring 103 team points. Elmhurst came in second. It was Wartburg's 5th national D3 title in the last 6 years and the first three-peat under Miller's guidance. Miller's 10th title ties Augsburg's Jeff Swenson for the most national crowns won by a coach in the division. Adding a little sparkle along with points was Wartburg's 133-pound Kenny Anderson. He repeated as national champ. In the finals, Anderson, a junior, downed Grant Sutter of Wisconsin Whitewater with a 9-1 major. He scored a leg attack takedown in all 3 periods. A leg attack takedown in all 3 periods. Imagine that. Anderson won the 2012 title at 125 pounds, bumping up a weight for competition this year. He was named the Mat.com Wrestler of the Week.
I just feel like I worked a lot harder this year compared to last year and ended up with the same result, so it means a lot to me. I'm not going to look at anyone as an individual and say, oh, I'm going to wrestle this guy in the finals for sure, because you never know. So I wasn't looking for anyone in particularly, but I was just looking to run the tournament on my own.
Well, we totaled it up, and Wartburg had a champion, a runner-up, 2 third-place finishers, a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th, for a grand total of 7 All-Americans.
I'm elated that they get to feel what it's like to go get a national championship. I'm elated for our fans, our college program as a whole. Got a great group of young men, just really proud to be associated with them. My last practice Tuesday was pretty emotional, and I'm sure tonight will be.
Elmhurst had 2 individual champs on the way to their strong second-place finish. Joseph Rao earned a 6-3 victory over Brian Broderick of the College of New Jersey in the 184-pound finals.
We just came out here to battle. We had a really tough regional, so we didn't get everyone we feel like we should have. But those who we did bring, we knew that every one of them could be a national champ. Every one of them should have been an All-American or a national champion. We just came ready to go.
His Elmhurst teammate Mike Benefiel, a past NCAA Division I qualifier for Oklahoma State, followed by defeating Cornell's Alex Coolidge 7-2 in the 97-pound championship.
I mean, this is it. This is the end for me. I lose my college career, and I went out there, and I just had a great attitude the whole time, and just had a lot of fun, and it's awesome. It's unbelievable that I could end my college career with this.
Elmhurst Steve Marionetti was named Coach of the Year. Wisconsin Whitewater placed 3rd with 78 points. We go back to 149 for a minute. Concordia's Greg Sanders scored a reversal with 12 seconds left to earn a 6-5 victory over Wartburg's returning champ Cody Silvestri. Sanders was also awarded Outstanding Wrestler of the tournament.
I was planning to get away. I knew that he was good at takedowns, so I waited until I had about 45 seconds left and I took advantage of it.
You get a name for that?
For what?
That reversal?
No, sir, but it was on YouTube. It was on YouTube. You can go more in detail about that. If I was going to call it, I'd call it Greg Sanders, to be honest.
Now, 3 of this year's champs repeated as Division III national champions. In the 165-pound finale, Nazar Kolchitsky of Wisconsin Oshkosh topped John Darling of the College of New Jersey 5-3.
Last year was my first experience, I wrestled only 3 years in folk style. It's a little bit different for me than freestyle, but I learned, I just a little bit got better in escapes and on top, it's getting better and better every year. So this year just feel more confident, already been here in the stage and won another one, just feels fantastic.
At 174 pounds, Kyle Quiet of Ohio Northern repeated as champ when he stopped Jules Dalaskar of Ithaca 8-0.
I felt in the finals, I felt a lot stronger. I felt the best I have all year. I felt really, really good. Don't give up. You know, I was down by like a decent amount, riding time in 4 at one point, and then just, you know, you can't give up. Just gotta keep wrestling back. The way my coach always tells me, just take it one match at a time. You know, just wrestle your best, and you know, take it as it comes to you.
And in the final bout of the night, junior Chad Johnson of Augsburg brought home the heavyweight title for the second time when he downed Centenary's Joseph Zatone 5-1.
I just wanted to come out here and make a statement. Knew the target was on me, and I couldn't have done it without the coaches, my trainers that helped me, practice partners, and you know, just always putting me in the right mindset for things and putting things into perspective.
In the 125-pound finale, top-seeded Ricardo Gomez of Ithaca stopped unseeded Jimmy Gatto of Co. 4-2.
To this moment, this was always a dream, and finally the dream has become a reality that I finally fulfilled. After, you know, in high school getting 2/3, after JUCOs, twice in the finals, I thought and I actually stopped wrestling and quit my junior year. After JUCOs, I didn't want to wrestle. I said, no more, I'm done. But my little brother kind of convinced me to come back, go to Ithaca, transfer to Ithaca, and, you know, coach instilled, you could be a national champ.
In the 141-pound championship bout, it was Adam Shealy of Wisconsin Lacrosse who used a riding time point to edge out Paul Marcello of Johns Hopkins. It was tight, 2-1 the final.
During the season, I had great matches where it came down to me riding my opponent out. Coach always talks to me right before, you know, go do your thing. You know, don't let what the other guy does affect us. You know, I do what I do well. We're not going to change my game plan just because somebody does something else pretty well.
Emerging in the 157-pound final was unseeded Devin Biscaha of Springfield. He used a second-period reversal to beat Christopher Krawchuk of Wilkes 2-0. Biscaha became his school's first Division III national champ and Springfield's first NCAA champion at any level since the late, great Jeff Blatnick won 2 division titles back in 1978 and 79. Significant for sure.
You got to take it step by step, day by day. Stepping down yesterday, I got back to my hotel room. I was thinking, you know, I've wrestled Birds before. I was thinking, you know, if I beat him, I'm in the finals. And I've already picked off, you know, 4 other All-Americans. So, I mean, at that point in my mind, I was like, wow, you know, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win this tournament.
We'll be back. You're watching Your Wrestling News on USA Wrestling Weekly.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
The 2013 World Team Trials for both juniors and seniors will be held June 20th through the 23rd in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your chance to see national champs, world medalists, Olympians, all competing to see who will represent the U.S. at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, and the FILA Junior World Championships in Sofia, Bulgaria. Visit www.theworldteamtrials.com for all your ticketing and travel information. ASICS is the proud sponsor of USA Wrestling's national teams.
Well, another national tournament of great importance was hosted in Allen, Texas. The growing National Collegiate Wrestling Association came together to sort it all out at their annual tilt. It was the biggest field in the history of the competition. Varsity programs and club programs from across the nation came together to battle it out on the Texas mats. And when the smoke cleared, 2 national champions and 9 All-Americans helped California Baptist win its second NCWA national title in 3 years. McKendree had 6 All-Americans and 2 national champs and took second. It was a close team battle all the way and was not determined until the heavyweights competed. Enter Cal Baptist big man Zach Merrill. He won the gold medal with a 3-0 win over Ross Janney of McKendree. The 41-pound championship was won in the finals by Bradford Girl of Cal Baptist. He pinned Lindenwood St. Charles Craig Childs. Brendan Murphy gave McKendree its first national champ of the finals at 133 pounds. He scored a huge win over Chris Caton of Air Force Academy Prep. Julian Smith followed with the title of his own at 197 pounds when he edged out Aaron Thompson of Liberty 3-2. Talking about Liberty, third place Liberty was led by NCWA champ Andrew Wilson. He beat Dustin Fullerton of Lindenwood Belleville 3-2 at 235 pounds. Fourth place, Lindenwood St. Charles also had 2 national champs. Derek Weller at 149. He beat Matt Vaughn of Central Florida 5-0. Luke Roth, he won a gold medal, stopping Tony Rizzoletti of the U.S. Military Academy Prep by pin. Well, MIT stole the show in Division II. That race, well, it was exciting for sure. He scored 50.5 points. The Boston boys were led by national champ Sam Shames. He won the 125-pound title with an 11-6 finals victory over Brendan Campbell of the Naval Academy Prep. Other individual champs included Santiago Martinez of Central Florida at 157 pounds, Larry Lanier of Lindenwood Belleville at 174 pounds, and Ben Brummel of South Carolina at 184. Now in the women's division, Southwestern Oregon Community College scored 139 points. They literally ran away with their second straight national title. This doubled the Lindenwood Belleville score of 64.5 points. Now all eyes are turning to Des Moines, Iowa, Wells Fargo Arena. It'll be the epicenter of all things wrestling as the sports faithful gather to bear witness to the Division I championships of the NCAA. Fresh off a team title at this year's Big Ten Championships, Cale Sanderson's Penn State Nittany Lions will look to capture their third straight NCAA title. Oklahoma State, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and all others are knocking on the door, seeking to knock off the Lions one by one. The NCAA championship field was announced last week along with the brackets, and typical wrestling fans are now going into their bracketology mode. They break it down, trying to find the strengths and weaknesses of each of the teams and contenders. The top seeds for the NCAA championships include Alan Waters at 125 pounds. He's from Missouri. Returning NCAA champ Logan Stieber of Ohio State at 133. He's joined by his brother Hunter Stieber at 141. 2011 NCAA champ Jordan Oliver at 149 pounds, Jason Welch of Northwestern at 157 pounds, and 3-time returning NCAA champ Kyle Dake of Cornell at 165 pounds. Now Chris Perry sits at 174 pounds from Oklahoma State. Returning NCAA champion Ed Ruth of Penn State is at 184. 2011 NCAA champ Dustin Kilgore of Kent State at 197, and Don Bradley of Missouri at heavyweight. Excitement continues to build about the possibility of a rematch, if you will, between Dake and returning NCAA champ David Taylor. That'll be at the 165-pound finales if indeed it does happen. Dake is attempting to become the first to win 4 NCAA titles in 4 different weight classes. How exciting. Dake beat Taylor in a match during the Southern Scuffle in early January. This may be a highlight bout, but there should be great showdowns in each and every weight class in Des Moines. ESPN has announced that it will provide coverage from every session of the NCAA championships this year. The coverage will be on 3 different platforms, including ESPN, ESPNU, ESPN3, and Watch ESPN. Both sessions on Thursday, March 21st, will be on ESPN3. Friday's action will be carried on both ESPNU and ESPN3. Saturday morning's medal round matches are on ESPNU. The championship finales on Saturday night will be aired live at 7 o'clock Central on ESPN. Those looking for other great audio coverage of the championships can follow the action with us at Takedown Radio. Steve Foster, Caleb Nemmers, Jeff Murphy, and actor Billy Baldwin will be along for various parts of the weekend stream live on themat.com and themat.tv. You don't want to miss any of the action. Stay tuned. We'll be back. There's more from the Mats. This is USA Wrestling Weekly.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills at the USA Wrestling Cliff Keen Athletic Folk Style Nationals. Become a national champion Head to the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa on April 5th and 6th to compete against the best wrestlers in the country. Last year's event featured 1,200 cadet and junior wrestlers from 32 states on 26 mats. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, as you might guess, there's great pride at stake each year at the Armed Forces Wrestling Championships. The four branches of the military battle for team and individual honors in Greco and men's freestyle. This year's event was held at Fort Dix in New Jersey. The first day featured Greco, and a number of U.S. Olympic World Team members were on the mat. The military program has had a strong tradition in Greco-Roman discipline. It was tight. The deciding dual meet went down to the last bout, but in the end, the U.S. Army edged the United States Marine Corps 14-13 to repeat as team champs in Greco-Roman. The Army opened up with the deciding dual meet victory. 4 straight wins, by the way, in the lighter weights. Nathan Engel edged Ian Mosier 1-0-1-0 at 121. At 132, two-time Olympian Spencer Mango was dominant in a decision over Joel Ake 9-0-5-0. Two-time World Team member Joseph Betterman won at 145 over Alexander Holloway. The score there 1-0-7-0. And closing out the Army run, Olympian and two-time world bronze medalist Justin Lester. He received a medical forfeit at 163. Now the Marines countered with great performances in the upper weights. It started at 185 with Donald Simmons getting a medical forfeit, then at 211 pounds. Marine star Charles Fish pinned Pete Goronitis in the third period for 5 big team points. In the final bout at heavyweight, Marine big man David Arndt edged Eric Nye 1-0-1-0, scoring 3 team points to fall just short. Well, the final score was Army 14, Marines 13. Army Greco-Roman champs Engel, Mango, Betterman, and Lester. Well, the Marines got their golds in the upper weights, as I mentioned, from Simmons, Fish, and Arndt. Congratulations to all those guys. Engel was the only repeating champion, winning it for the second straight time in Greco. Now we go to the next day. It featured men's freestyle, and the U.S. Army went on a rampage. They went 3-0 in dual meet to claim the team title. In the deciding duel against the Marines, the Army won the first 4 bouts, including 3 pins. That put it away. Early pins for the Army came from William Simpson at 132, Philip Simpson at 145, and Justin Lester at 163. The Army had 5 individual champs, including the Simpsons and Lester, plus Engel at 121, and Jack Jensen at 211 pounds. 2 Marines won gold in freestyle, Arndt at heavyweight, and Ryan Lyons at 185. 3 athletes won double titles, capturing gold in both styles, Engel and Lester for the Army and Arndt for the Marines. Congratulations to the Army, who, by a combined score, also won the overall championship. Well, last week, a U.S. FILA Junior Greco team won the Austrian Junior Open and then remained in country for training and a little more competition. The Americans enjoyed a pair of dual meets during their training camp. Team USA won all 10 bouts in a dual meet victory over a combined team from Austria and Switzerland. It was impressive, 35-6 the final. Scoring pins for the U.S., Hayden Tuma and Chris Caldwell at 132 pounds. Well, it wasn't all roses for the U.S. The next team they dueled was Georgia and lost by the score of 14-4. The The lone victory for the team came from Isaiah Verona at 121. In fact, it was a strong day for Verona, winning in both duels. Coach Rob Herman was pleased that some of the other Americans avenged losses from the Austrian Junior Open. Our wrestling coverage continues on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Well, the international wrestling community has come together and is working hard to retain wrestling on the Olympic level, and it's time for your weekly update. We talked to 3 key American college wrestling leaders with Olympic backgrounds during the EIWA Championships in New Jersey just last week. Rob Eider, coach of the Penn Quakers, was a member of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team, which competed at the Atlanta Games. He gave his thoughts about the challenge ahead.
And we have to make sure that we keep this public image going, and we have to make sure that the general public understands our sport, and I think that's where we really need to get out the promotion and make our sport more fan-friendly as well.
Navy head coach Bruce Burnett served 8 years as USA Wrestling's national freestyle coach. He was head coach at the '96 Olympic Games and the 2000 Olympic Games for Team USA.
Wrestling needs to be there. It's the oldest sport, and it will be back. I'm confident of that. And but the reality of it is, we're going to have to earn that right to be back in that spot, and it's going to happen. The community's rallied, but I was in shock.
Greg Strobel, the retired coach for Lehigh, was a leader for the EIWA, was also USA Wrestling's national teams director. He's also a former national freestyle coach and a freestyle coach at the Olympic Games. Strobel provided his perspective.
Wrestling is part of the ancient Olympic Games, part of the modern Olympic Games from day one, and it's one of those really natural activities that's practiced year-round, or around the world, so why would wrestling be dropped? So total shock, and that was the first reaction. Second reaction is, how in the world are we going to get this thing back? And so we've got an uphill battle and a lot of work to do, but wrestlers are fighters, and we're going to make it back. That's what we have to do.
Well, we continue now with our weekly update on the effort to keep wrestling in the Olympics. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno featured Olympic wrestling champs Rulon Gardner and Henry Cejudo on the show this past Monday. A former wrestler himself, Leno talked to the legends about keeping wrestling in the games. Well, the Keep Wrestling in the Olympic Facebook page has now grown to over 100,000 likes just last week and has become a central location for the world to communicate about the Olympic wrestling issue. Also in social media, a new Twitter handle, @WrestlingVision, was launched to support the effort. U.S. Senator Al Franken of Minnesota, a former wrestler, has written an editorial supporting wrestling as an Olympic sport. Franken was a popular comedian on NBC's Saturday Night Live prior to becoming a politician. Well, banners and literature for the effort were a big hit at events this last week. The NCAA Division III Nationals in Iowa, for example, the Dapper Dan Classic in Pennsylvania, the Armed Forces Championships in New Jersey, and a number of big state-level youth events featured banners and kids carrying around a variety of different messages to show their interest and love for the sport. On the world level, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, and Iranian leader Mahmoud Ahmadinejad came out in support of the Olympic sport. And for those going to the NCAA Championships in Des Moines this week, keep an eye out for Keep Olympic Wrestling information booths in Wells Fargo and the NCAA Wrestling Fan Festival, and of course a Win Memorabilia Show. You'll have a chance to tell the IOC why wrestling belongs in the games on videotape, and you'll be able to share your personal story and affections. Now, on a sad note, wrestling leader Willie Gadson has passed away at the age of 59. It was just last week after a very difficult battle with cancer. Gadson was an All-American at Iowa State and a very talented freestyle athlete who turned his efforts to coaching. He served a stint as head coach at Eastern Michigan and became a popular coach at Waterloo East High in Iowa. His son Kyvan won the Big 12 wrestling title at 197 pounds just last week, and was able to get home just in time to spend some time with his father before he passed away. Father, husband, community leader, and friend, Willie Gadson, a great man. He'll surely be missed by all of us. Well, it's time for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by families and fans from around the country and are also being considered for our photo contest page in USA Wrestler Magazine and USA Wrestling Facebook page. This week's picture is sent in by Jangle Strong, showing Brandon Savage of Mount St. Joe's Club in Maryland winning the 90-pound county wrestling title. Have your photographs considered for USA Wrestling's photo contest simply by emailing them to the hardworking Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, folks, that'll do it for all of us at this week's show. We appreciate you watching USA Wrestling every week. I'm Scott Casper. Thanks for watching.